December 7, 1941. A quiet Sunday morning in paradise. Sailors prepared for breakfast. Families slept peacefully. The waters of Pearl Harbor reflected the dawn sky over Oahu, Hawaii. But in less than 2 hours, everything would change. Today we remember. We honor. We never forget. At 7:48 a.m., the first wave struck. 183 Japanese aircraft descended from the clouds. Torpedoes tore through battleship hulls. Bombs rained down on Hickam Field, Wheeler Field, and the naval air stations. The sound of explosions shattered the morning calm. American servicemen ran to their battle stations in various states of dress. Some never made it. Others fought back with whatever weapons they could reach, firing at enemy planes with rifles, pistols, and machine guns mounted on ships that were already sinking beneath them. The USS Arizona took a direct hit to her forward magazine. The explosion was catastrophic. In 9 minutes, she sank with 1,177 men aboard. More than half of all American casualties that day came from this single ship. The USS Oklahoma capsized, trapping over 400 sailors inside her hull. The USS West Virginia, USS California, and USS Nevada all sustained massive damage. The USS Utah converted to a training ship, rolled over and sank. By 9:45 a.m., it was over. 2 hours that felt like an eternity. 2 hours that changed the course of history. The final count was devastating. 2,403 Americans killed, 1,178 wounded, 4 battleships sunk, 4 battleships damaged, 3 cruisers damaged, 3 destroyers damaged, 188 aircraft destroyed, 159 aircraft damaged. But these weren't just numbers. These were sons and husbands and fathers, brothers and friends. Each one had a name, each one had a story. Each one had a future that was stolen in a morning of fire and smoke. The youngest was 17 years old. The oldest was 62. They came from every state in the Union. Farm boys from Iowa, factory workers from Detroit, fishermen from New England. They wore the uniform. They served their country. And on that Sunday morning, they made the ultimate sacrifice. In the days that followed, America responded with unity that seems almost unimaginable today. President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress on December 8th, calling December 7th, a date which will live in infamy. Within an hour, Congress declared war on Japan with only one dissenting vote. Across the nation, Americans lined up at recruiting stations. The lines stretched for blocks. Young men who had been debating whether to enlist now had their answer. Remember Pearl Harbor became the rallying cry of a generation. The attack united a nation that had been divided about entering the war. Isolationism evaporated overnight. America was wounded, but America was not broken. The survivors of Pearl Harbor would go on to fight across the Pacific. They would storm beaches, sail through typhoons, and face an enemy determined to fight to the last man. They would help win a war and save the world from tyranny. They would come home as the greatest generation. Today, the USS Arizona Memorial stands above the sunken battleship in Pearl Harbor. Oil still seeps from her hull, rising to the surface. Some call them the tears of the Arizona. On the memorial wall, 1,177 names are engraved in marble. Below in the wreckage, more than 900 sailors remain entombed, forever on duty. We remember them not just as casualties of war, but as heroes who gave their lives in service to our nation. We remember the terror of that morning and the courage shown in response. We remember how a nation came together in its darkest hour. To those who died at Pearl Harbor, your sacrifice was not in vain. You awakened a sleeping giant. You inspired a nation to stand against evil. You gave your lives so that freedom might endure. To the survivors, now nearly all gone, thank you for your service, your courage, and your witness to history. To all Americans, let us never forget December 7th, 1941. Let us honor those who fell by remembering that freedom is never free. Let us carry their memory forward, ensuring that new generations understand what happened on that terrible morning in paradise. They were ordinary Americans who faced an extraordinary moment. They did not choose their fate, but they met it with courage. They rest now in honored glory, and their legacy lives on in every generation that defends our nation. We remember. We honor. We will never forget. December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. A day that changed America forever.